Again, my name is Omar Castaneda. I work for Factory Authorized Service. You all have my business cards and phone numbers. We're located in the city of Montebello in regards to parts and warranty calls. The item we're going to be talking about right now is the Lakos centrifugal separator you have installed in your property. I don't know if you guys are familiar with separators versus sand filters. Lakos is Claude Laval's located up north. They're a Claude Laval company. They've been manufacturing filters forever. They do sand filters too. They do provide a sand filter option. They're obviously their best sellers are centrifugal separators. Sand filters, personally, in the 20 years I've been doing this work, I don't like them too much, only because there are a little more maintenance issues with them. If you don't take care of them, if the backwash doesn't work correctly, you're going to get a big concrete ball in there. So Lakos, and Lakos isn't the only company that provides these kind of filters, but Lakos does a really good job of taking care of their equipment and providing customer service and support. Centrifugal separators there's no sand media in centrifugal separators. It's all done on velocity of the water spinning in a cylinder. It looks a little like this skid right here. And in the stack, you'll have all these in the IOMs, and like I said, you can also go to lakos.com and get the information. It's a centrifugal separator. The water goes in at a tangent to the sphere, and so the velocity spins all the particles and drop down, and they get out of the tank. So we'll talk about the components of the unit. There's the separator, which is the long tube. Yours comes in different sizes, depending on the tower, depending on the application. Your application is some sweeper piping application, which means that they're scrubbing the basin, cleaning everything out of the basin. I love them. I'm a tower guy, and that's what we do. The bulk of our work is cooling towers, and the issue with the centrifugal separators and the some sweeper piping is it's a labor-saving thing, because at the end of the year you don't want to be in that basin shoveling gallons and gallons of dirt and debris out of those towers. So you have a separator in your cooling tower, your tower's going to last a lot longer, it's going to have a lot less problems. Your filming is going to last a lot longer, it's going to have a lot less problems. Your chiller's going to have a lot less problems as long as you maintain the bags. So it really is a nice system for towers, for cooling towers. Now they have also other applications, side stream applications, where they take water out of the main header before it gets to the chiller. They take about 10-15% out, clean it, send it back. So those are different applications. And they have full flow applications where you take the entire flow out of the water, clean it before you send it back. They're bigger separators. I mean, they're 20 feet in the air separators that are doing a lot of work. But in regards to your applications, your sun sweeper piping in your tower, it really is a tower saver, both your parts. Now I'm not saying a 100% clean, because obviously there are corners, edges. So part of your PMing for the towers obviously is to drain those towers once a year, see what's going on. I always have the engineers that I talk to, they get a little pull brush every 6 months, and just to get the water out of the particles out of the corners of the towers. Because if we installed them, and I'm sure you've seen them on this tower, is PVC piping. It goes all along the perimeters of the tower with nozzles, high flow nozzles that are pushing everything out of the basin and into the return of the Lakos. But in the backside and the corners, stuff can pile up. Not a whole lot, but enough. And you just want to move it a little bit, get it all out. So inside the towers, PVC layout. The layouts are Lakos design. Lakos works very closely with tower manufacturers to make sure that their designs fit in their towers. The layout they give, I send them the model number, serial numbers. They send me a layout, and that's what we put in. There's high flow nozzles in there to create a lot more pressure, which is another interesting or great thing about Lakos separators, or separators in general, is that their pumps are a lot more heftier than a sand filter. They push a lot more, so they clean a lot better. So again, there's a inside Schedule 80 PVC. One day when you guys clean the towers, you'll see it. I mean, there are 2-inch headers that go all the way around with nozzles. Obviously, it's Schedule 80. Careful when you're stepping on them; you want to break them. And so we clean all that debris comes out of that tower into the Lakos. Water cleans that out, or the Lakos separator cleans all that stuff out, sends the clean water back to the nozzles. As long as the tower's on, the separator should be on. Now, a lot of people leave the separator running 24/7. It's an energy thing. Some people don't care too much about it. Some people just make sure the tower's clean. Towers are great air scrubbers. They scrub air and throw that crap in your base and will protect your chiller, your pumps. So that's why they let them run. But a lot of people automate it. Tower's on, Lakos is on. Tower's off, Lakos is off.
How is it configured here?
I think it's in hand. I think it runs
All the time.
all the time. Yeah. And you're in a bad area. I mean, it really is the bottom line. Because I saw what the towers looked like before we put the stuff in.
That was only like 6 months.
Yeah, yeah, because you told me you'd cleaned them 6 months ago. Yeah. So it's going to make a big difference for you. Obviously, as long as you maintain the bags. Now, you have, so we have the Lakos separator, we have a pump, and we have an SRV, which is a solid recovery vessel. And it's stainless steel. Inside that solid recovery vessel is the bag filter. And we've talked to Dan about, or I've talked to Dan about this. Those bags are washable bags. You can wash them. They're good for, depending on the debris that's coming out or how bad the startup was. Dan and I are talking about the fact that there's a well slag in there from the original construction. That may rip the bags quicker than they need to be. But originally, what I tell customers is put the bag in, turn it on, and check it. When I leave, the moment it started up, check it in a month. See what it looks like. It's all location based, right? Because some people are dirty, some places are dirtier than others, and so look at it in a month. Does it look bad? No. Okay, let's wait another month. See what that, and you can gauge how often those bags need to be cleaned out and checked out.
It's already been done twice.
Yeah. So I mean, you're in a bad area. I mean, and construction and welding and people moving dirt and stuff. So you need to look at consistently and see what's going on. If it's more often than not. The bags are 10 bags in a box for $70, $71. But you can clean. Our customers, they alternate one, dry one, clean one, dry one, clean one, and you can go. I've seen them go depending on the position. I've seen them go 6 months, 7 months before they need to be taken out because they no longer work, or they're torn, or they got a problem on them.
Do you flip the bag inside out to clean it, or
I do. I flip the bags inside out to clean them. Yeah.
That plastic.
I know it's plastic. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's just click it over and it'll clean out. So, and just watch them. I mean, there's a little DP switch on the tank that tells you when that filter's back. Here's the problem, and Lakos knows about it, but it's a cost issue for them. Obviously, getting out to the people. The switch, in my sense, after a couple years, that switch is not going to work. It doesn't work well as it should be. You need to clean them. You need to get in there, take it out, blow the pipes out, make sure there's no debris in the springs. You got to take them out. I mean, it's part of the maintenance of that little DP sensor.
We blew the lines out.
And then you take the sensor, look at it, see what it looks like, make sure there's nothing inside, and there's some well slag that's in there or something like that, because it could get in there and clog that hole up. So. But don't depend on. I always tell the customers, don't depend on that little arrow letting ring.
Not working.
Yeah, it's push it. It's having a hard time. Don't depend on that little switch because it really is, not very efficient in what it needs to do. So you need to watch it. You need to watch those bags. And like I said, I mean, I know you guys are busy, but I mean, you don't even have to turn the system. I mean, you just close those valves, pop it out, and take a look at it. So I mean,
how does that the auxiliary electric switch work? It's a switch. It's a switch that sits on top of that.
Yeah, that's it's for controls. That is supposed to go to an automation system to let you know if something is wrong with the bag. I don't know how it's tied in here. I don't even know if it's tied into your automation system at this point. I think it's just standalone. They just sold you the entire package. I'll take a look at it when I get out there.
Okay.
So Separator, very easy to handle. Now, there are other options that people use. The problem with other options is wasting water. Right now, this Centrifugal separator is a no wastewater system, right? Unless you have to take it clean out. I mean, the water's just being cleaned and recycled back to the system. There's automatic blowdown versions where there's an automated valve that sits there, and every day at 12 o'clock at night, it opens up for 3 seconds to clean the filter, clean it out, and drains that water out.
What is it cleaning out the bottom of?
Yeah, it cleans the bottom of the separator. In an automatic blowdown valve, there's no bag in the system anymore. There's just a valve.
Okay.
Got a time relay, so you set it up for midnight for a minute, boom, throws it out. But people don't like wasting water because every day waste whatever water is popping out. That's just dependent on the size of the unit. So this one has a bag version of it. They do offer retrofit kits if you want to go in that direction, depending on how bad it is. They're not cheap, so Can you hold on? Can you put a pause on that for a second?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, Lakos Separator is a very nice, efficient unit. Does what it needs to do. Keeps you out of those towers. Keeps the grime out of those towers. Keeps your your condenser tubes and everything, your chiller, nice and clean. So, keep it up, keep it straight, and keep it working all the time. People after a while say, "I'm done with this. Turn it off and leave it." It sits there forever and ever and never does anything. So keep it going. Keep it healthy, and you'll be out of those towers more times than in those towers. Cool. Dan? Dan will love those.
Be out of the tower.
Dan will love those separators.
I've had them before.
Yeah. So, okay, we that's all we have on the inside. I can talk about that, and we can stop here, and then we can talk about the pumps real quick. Is that fair enough? We want it, same deal, right? Make the introduction. Okay. Good. Okay. So, again, Omar Castaneda, Factory Authorized Service. We're also the Armstrong representatives out here. Armstrong's located in New York, Buffalo. That's their main plant in the United States. They're actually based out of Canada as their main headquarters. But everything comes out of Buffalo. I've been to their plant, the pumps that I'm going to talk about are the standalone pumps, not the ones that have VFDs on them. They're going to have a different instructor do those. The pump itself is going to be the same kind of pump that we're talking about. They're vertical inline pumps. The bigger pumps, like the ones with the VFDs that you guys will be talking about, have a coupler to couple the shafts together. The ones that are on the boilers that we're talking about are the 3 little circulating pumps that are on each boiler. Those are close coupled at the shaft of the motor is coupled to the impeller, so there's no linkage between them. No requirements of any kind of alignment. They're vertical inline. You guys familiar? Most pumps are floor mounted. These are vertical inlines. Armstrong really pushes them. They really do a good job. Not only so much for these ones we're talking about, but for the bigger ones that they're going to talk about. The linkages, the seals that change easier, the whole 9 yards. The little tiny ones over there, they like I said, they're close coupled. We'll go out there and take a look at them. There's the only thing we need to look at obviously is the strainer. It's got to be cleaned. The big strainer bolt that's right there. The other thing is that there's a line, and we'll go out there and show you, there's a braided line that goes from the bearing to the supply side of the top of the pump, which keeps water into the bearings to keep it going. Obviously, water quality affects that pump, that mechanical seal. Like any other pump, it's not easy to change seals out, but it is what it is. They usually fail. If they're going to fail, they're going to fail startup. But usually they don't fail too well. I mean, we've been running them for a long time now, since the beginning. So they're not going to be covered under any warranty. Mechanical seals will be covered under warranty at initial startup. Their biggest concern, and I know Dan does it when Dan said it, because a lot of people do it. Because they got nothing else, they got no better way of doing it, and that's flushing the system out. Armstrong in their IOM says, you flush your system with our pumps, we're not warranting any mechanical seals. But it doesn't give any options for people who need the pumps to flush the system out. So
Have the strainers been cleaned yet?
I believe Dan cleans them, at least a couple times already now, more than that.
We took out the
You put the starter filter out.
Yeah, they're sitting out there.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah. So, like I said, pumps, these don't have to be greased. They're locked. There don't have to be any worries about it. Like everything else, you gotta watch them. You hear noise, hey, what's going on? Talk to Omar, see what's going on, see where the racket is. What else? On the pumps, I think that's all I got on the pumps, man. I don't have any.
Can the mechanical seals run for any duration dry?
They can, and they don't like. We don't like them to do that, obviously. But I mean, there's issues with startup and drainage that they run dry. They will run dry for a while without a problem. We don't want to keep them that way, obviously. Sure. But they can handle the dryness for a while.
What about the heat on those 3? Are they special seals?
They're rated for they're rated for 350 degrees. The mechanical seals.
On all those pumps or just those 3?
I think on all the pumps.
Really?
Yep. I have to look at the IOM, but I think they are.
What kind of seal is it?
Let me answer that seal question. But Starts with a V.
Viton.
Viton. Yeah. So they're pretty sturdy. I don't have a whole lot of leaking problems with seals, except at startup when there's metal grime in the compartment. It scratches that seal on the inside. Because I mean the tolerance it's a water molecule tolerance, man.
Yeah.
So you get yourself in trouble real quick if you're not careful. Cool. All right. We'll go outside and take a look at the two items. Okay. All right, guys. So this is the Lakos centrifugal separator package. Like I told you inside, important thing is the model serial number. It's got a tag right here with it, the information, because obviously they make them in different shells and different requirements. So that serial number attaches everything to this tower. It has a control panel with a disconnect switch, and it's got a handoff auto switch. You're not automated on this; it's fully in hand. It can be if you'd like, but that's it's something you guys can do later on if you want. Like I said, it doesn't affect. You can turn it on and off all you want. It doesn't affect the operation of your tower or anything like that. It's just a separate little pump system. It's cleaning your system. So if the tower's running, you can leave it off, on, turn it off, whatever your case is. So here's a separator right here we were talking about. This one, there's two different kinds of separators Lakos provides. This is the one that you can actually, if you'd like, you can actually take the lid off and take a look inside at the end of the year and go, wow, is that it? Or they have the fully enclosed version, which is welded tight. You can't look inside. Some people like to see it. Some people don't. Just depends. You really don't have to do any work in regards to servicing it at the end of the year. There's nothing you need to do. Get in here to look at anything. Nothing's going to surprise you. You're not going to be able to take anything out of it. It's nothing in there that's going to be anything worthwhile seeing. So it's just that's an option they provide on this particular one. So this is a separator. Right here, back here, the stainless steel container is called the SRV. It's a solid recovery vessel. We'll go through the parts and then we'll open them up and take a look at them. Then we got the pump and we got the strainer. The basket strainer needs to be cleaned out, obviously for well slug and for bigger stuff and rats and pigeons and whatever gets in your tower. If your louvers aren't open, I mean, they're big enough to get in there and get into your system and get stuck in that strainer. So you should clean those out. So let's talk about that. So we've shut it down right now so we can look and see. So here's the SRV. I'm sure Dan has done this before. And you just got to turn the dials to get these screws out. Of course, you should close the valves. There's two valves right here. You close them, and then you open it up. Take the lid out. So let's talk about this lid. Heavy lid. It's got an oak gasket on it. It's actually a gasket, but it's a square gasket. It's called a lid gasket. So if you call if you call us for parts, make sure you tell them you want the gasket that goes on the lid, so that they get you the right one. Reach in here, and here's the bag. I need somebody to hold this for me real quick. Okay, so it comes with this regular it's got a metal strainer. Inside the strainer is the bag. Now you can see that it's clogged up because the water, I'm full of water, right? If the bag was in good shape, I'd be getting wet. So anyway, so you just gotta push in and take it out. And it's effing and it's heavy. I mean, really fat and heavy.
No, I'm just not doing anything. I did that Tuesday.
Yeah. No, I don't doubt it in your area. You see it right here. Wow. And this is where you live. So it needs to be cleaned, it needs to be washed, it needs to be replaced. It really is depending on your job, where you're at location wise. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes I see people never, I mean, it's 6-8 months before they even clean them. So, but it just depends on your spot. They have, the standard is a 50 micron. They have a 25 micron. It's overkill for your application. You'd have to be here every day, every 20 minutes. So you want to make sure you get the 50 microns, 25 micron. You want to get yourself in trouble. And you just clean them out, turn them inside out, clean them out. People just swap them back and forth. There's the one that's right there. It's already been cleaned. Yeah. So anyway, most people clean it out and then let it dry out and turn it upside down again and get all the stuff that's loose. So, I mean, I wish I could say there was a time frame. There really isn't. It just depends on the location and how bad you're getting the water cleaned out and dirty. Like I said, you can get them. There's 10 of these for 71 bucks, something like that. Have a box. Box a year probably would be your best bet. I mean, that's what most customers do. Okay. So, goes in there. And then it just snaps in place. Okay, and put it back in. And put the lid back on. One of the screws here on the lids doesn't come off, so the lid's not going to fall off or hit or fall on your feet or anything like that. Only the first two come off. This one stays on. And when you put this back on, there's no indentation. So you have to feel with your fingers. Make sure that you have the gasket is over the entire container. Just feel it, and you'll feel it with your hands. But make sure you're not off center and causing yourself problems. And just put it back on.
So that pressure gauge didn't.
It didn't. Yeah, because we're gonna look at that, and I'll talk about it right now. There's a pressure gauge right here that tells you when the bag is empty or full. And I was telling Dan, you know, because it depends on this pipe, this tubing, and I mean the grime, it gets in that sensor. It's gonna blow it all the time. So don't depend on that being a good sensor for a long period of time. It's just not that complicated a sensor to handle what's going on. And then always remember, once you're done, turn both valves back on so the water flow can go. And then turn it on, and you're on your way. On a PM, on an annual PM, turn it off. Do the same thing we just do, obviously, but you can remove the basket strainer. Same deal. Take the two nuts, bolts off. Just a little metal strainer, just like the ones at the pumps. Comes out, clean it out, put it back in. Okay. So, can you pull for a second? Okay, so we've discussed about taking the filter bags out, strainers, centrifugal separators, the DP. Like I said, it has the capability of being automated. This particular option it's not, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it anytime in the future you want to do it. Just run your lines through the and off auto switch, and you'll be able to turn it on and off whenever that tower comes on. Like I was discussing, see the water comes in at a tangent here on the tube up on top, and then spins the water inside the container. Stuff comes down, out, and into the filter bag, back into the system, and back into the tower. I want to step over here for a little bit, and you'll see what they did is, you'll look here on the cooling tower, there's two on both sides. You consider this one tower, but it's two cells, and each cell has its own connections. So there's a overflow line and a drain line on this tower. So this sits here. When the tower gets higher than it should, it overflows out, right? Drains itself out, comes out into the trap and out of the drain. This is the drain. You want to drain the tower, you pop the valve, drain everything in the tower. What they did here, if you look, they paralleled the drain to the system, right? So if you want to drain the tower, you pop the valve, you pop this valve right here, and it drains the tower, right? So that's why it's closed. But because you're working the separator, this valve is open, so they take that same water, parallel off, and then go back to the separator. And they did the same thing on the other side. Normally what happens is, and you'll see on the other side over there, there's a supply, the other side of the connection of the tower, that's the other side where the supply to the nozzles inside the tower are going in. Normally what happens is, we don't use normal applications. From the evap, either you buy a new tower or you refurbish the tower, they pop another hole into the basin and run it to the tower. So it doesn't matter how you do it, they just were saving some time and effort.
To clean this strainer, you need to shut this.
You need to shut this off, yep. Otherwise you're gonna get water from the basin, because the basin's higher. Okay, so they just paralleled the drain line. So just remember, one's the drain and one's the Lakos. So you know, and you see it's always closed. Yeah. Thanks. I got a mud sauna. It's all right. So, and I don't know. I don't know if you guys. I know Dan's looked inside. I don't know if any of you guys have looked in the tower. You can't really see them anymore because they're submerged. But there's a whole branch of PVC inside with nozzles, and they're pushing everything out. They're constantly. The ice is not. I mean, you would think you're scrubbing, but they're not. The issue. The logic behind it is to have all the particles floating in the water, and that's what they want to do. They want to keep the water floating in the water, getting out of the system. So that's what that's doing. Clean that water, sending it back clean water, cleaning it out, sending it back clean water, and that's what it does all day long. And it's like I said, it's a tower saver for you guys. Saves your tower, saves your fill from getting all crupped up, saves your cooling tower from getting crap. You know, I've seen 15 gallons of crap coming out of those towers at the end of the year from people with a shovel. You're in there with a shovel, all right? I saw the guy with a shop vac trying to clean it all up the other day. So be careful. So as long as you keep him healthy, you're going to keep him healthy, which keeps them healthy, which keeps the pumps healthy. So whatever it takes. And like I said, they have other options for this Lakos separator if ever you want to. They're expensive options to do other stuff, to do automatic blow down. They'll remove this SRV and put a ball valve right here, and automate the ball valve with a relay that every midnight for 30 seconds flush out. People don't like it a lot because they don't like the wastewater. So.
Can you see the particles in there when it's flowing through that side tube?
They're going too fast. You probably won't be able to notice it. So, what else? Let's see. I think that's it. That's all I got on the Lakos separator. If you have any other questions, guys, obviously maintenance-wise, besides the bags and the strainers, the pumps don't have to be lubricated. There's a mechanical seal in there. This is a different mechanical seal than the other ones. They sell you the little mechanical. They don't call it a mechanical seal. They call it a pump repair kit. Really easy to change. You can open it up. Yeah, sorry. There's a control panel. Nothing fancy about it. It's got the overload for the motor. It's got the fuses, 3 fuses. This is this automation. I think they were planning to do some automation, but they haven't done any automation. So that's the low voltage side, the high voltage side, and the contactor. Put that in there.
Okay, I got it.
And then also at the end of the year, open it up and do some vacuuming, make sure they're clean and everything. And then that's really all I got on them. Okay. Not a lot to them. These are simple single pumps. There's no VFDs on them. They run at 1 speed and that's it. They don't have to be lubricated. These are close coupled Sorry.
Can we start from the beginning?
Sure.
Oh.
Take two. All right, guys. All right. So you have other pumps on this facility besides these, but these are the ones we're going to talk about in this training session. These are the simplest pumps you got here. They're close coupled, no VFDs. They run at 1 speed and 1 speed only. There's no lubrications required on them. They're close coupled, which means that the shaft of the motor is actually attached to the impeller. So whenever you need to change the mechanical seal, the whole compartment comes off. You unscrew the bolt, close everything off, unscrew the heads, the whole chamber comes off. You have to take the impeller off, then you can take the seals off, put the new seal back on, put the impeller. Really easy to do, not difficult at all. So that's and I was talking about when we were inside, we were talking about this little line here. This line keeps the bearings lubricated, brings water out, lubricates the bearings because they have to maintain water in them. So that's why it's important to have your water chemistry, make sure it's good. Make sure there's nothing going on in those bearings, because otherwise you're going to. I'm sorry, the mechanical seal. Sorry, the mechanical seal, not the bearings. You got to make sure the mechanical seal is kept in good shape.
That's on the discharge of the pump?
Yep.
It's the way it's
No, on the suction. Sorry. So we got to make sure that your water chemistry is good, obviously, for those reasons. Like I said, they will run dry if it runs into a problem. We can't run it for long periods of time. Dryness. And really, as far as pumps go, it's probably the simplest pump out here in regards to what you need to do. The strainer's right there. Got to clean that strainer once a year, make sure it all looks good. It's just a simple screen strainer in there. There's 3 pumps, one here, one for each boiler. And the disconnects are on the opposite side. All have a handoff auto switches out there. There's nothing fancy about them, no VFDs, like I said, so that really is all there is to do with these pumps.
The starters are
On the other side over there. Yeah. We can go over there if you like. Maybe we should go over and take a quick look at the starters. All right, so these are the starters for each pump, 1, 2, 3. I believe this is for the far one, so it's actually, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Just a standard mag starter. It's got the fuses, low voltage. It's got a relay here for their automation because they're automated the pumps. Whenever the pump comes or the required for the boilers to come on, turns the pumps on. It's got the overload protection and the test points and everything. So there's nothing unusual. It's a nice stainless steel container. Probably outlasts most of us.
do we get spare parts at all?
That's not mine. That's not my thing. I don't know what they're doing for you in regards to spare parts. And that's it. That's all I got.
Can we try that one more time?
This is stuff that we do all
Yeah, I know.
Let him go through that one more time. This tripod wasn't set.
Sure.
You want it open?
Yeah, give me one more time. Sorry.
Stay on there.
No problem. We gotta open it up real quick. Because I know the sun's in my face. I don't know if you guys can see that better.
Actually, that works fine.
Yeah.
But the main thing is, those rocks are not even. So I had to.
Yeah. No problem.
So if you can just go over that one
Sure.
time there.
Say when.
When?
Okay, so again, simple disconnect. It's got the 3 fuses for the high, for the low. It's got the mag starter. It's got the overload protection with the overload protection knob set. It's got the test buttons for it, and it's got the relay for the automation because once the command sends for the boiler to come on, it turns the pumps on. Stainless steel container. It's got a handoff auto switch with the light. You can't see in the sunlight, but it does turn on whenever the pump's on. All the standard precautions when you open it, right? Lock out and tag out. To make sure that we're all safe and sound. Yeah. So other than that, that's really all there is to it. Thank you.